Okay, so we're talking about a ladybird deed. This is a deed that's relatively unique, only in a couple different states. Florida happens to be a state where we can use it. It's a way that you can actually transfer property to somebody after you pass away without having to go through probate, right? And so what's kind of cool about this deed, you have your, let's say I'll give you an example of how it works. You have a property, it's in your name. Now, you know that when you pass away, you want the property to go to your son. Okay, so you could just change the deed, do a quick claim deed, and put the property so that it still has your name as the owner, but then it has language on there that says when you pass away, the property automatically passes to your son, and he's not going to have to hire an attorney, not have to go through probate to do any of that. Now, there's another similar deed, which is called a life estate deed, which is the same principle, right? It says you own the property while you're alive, and then when you pass away, the property goes to the person automatically, to the person who you've put on title. Now, the downside of that one is that you cannot take that person, once they're on title, you can't take them off of title. And so if you want to now go sell the property, you're going to have to get their permission because they now have an interest in the property. That's just a general life estate deed. The ladybird deed is really, the legal term is called an enhanced life estate deed, which operates the same way as a normal life estate deed, with the difference being that if you want to sell the property, you don't need that person's permission. You can take them off title. The property, really, you have full ownership of the property until you pass away, whereas with a normal life estate deed, you kind of don't. The person that you've put on there, they have some ownership rights as well. So this works great as an estate planning tool, or if you want the property, you go to this person. Now, there might be reasons why you don't want to leave a property outright to someone, which is why we generally say, hey, let's do a trust. Let's do something a little bit different, because if you leave the property outright to that person via this deed, let's say that they have debtors, they have creditors, they have issues with the IRS, people coming after them. Or maybe they're married and you're concerned about them getting the property, and now that spouse is going to have some sort of rights to it. Or maybe they have addiction issues, drug, alcohol, gambling, something like that. And so we don't want them to get a piece of property. So there's a lot of reasons why you would not want to just leave a property outright to a person. But it is a tool that you can do it, that you can put somebody on title with ultimately avoiding the probate process. Now, last thing, why is it called a ladybird deed? Where does that name come from? Well, Lyndon B. Johnson, president, was married, and I believe his wife, they called her Ladybird, something like Ladybird Johnson, and so that's ultimately where the name came from. So, again, great, potentially good estate planning tool, but you want to really think through: do I want to just leave this property outright to the person?